Hi, welcome to another video. I've just spent ages doing a screen capture and then separate audio, but then I found that audio was muffled even though I've got a Rode microphone. So I'm redoing it using this camera facing the screen. And my partner said, well, looking at a static picture with no movement, yes, it was boring. Probably couldn't follow the little mouse. So this complete diesel oxidation catalyst and diesel particulate filter, this one-piece system was fitted to my car 11,000 miles ago. Turbo here, exhaust flexi down here. Just a few months ago, the cat, which sits here, dropped, snapped my temperature sensor and started blocking the DPF. Looked great, £300 for new cat, new DPF. I say it later, but if you've got problems with a cat or DPF, don't go for a one-piece unit. You're asking for trouble. It's cost me over £300 to get this replaced with two items. This is a replacement exhaust gas temperature sensor. Cost me £13 for a second-hand one. Euro car parts want something like 88 or 109. Here is a copy of my broken one. That's the wiring up here. I think, where's my temperature sensor gone? So I was just happily driving. I'd actually been to Paris this year, 960 miles round trip. David, I know you've heard it all before. I mentioned all this on a forum. 960 miles to Paris and back. I'm in South Yorkshire. A couple of days driving around the centre of Paris, just before the lockdown. No problem with the car at all. And all of a sudden I get this risk of filter blocking and anti-pollution. And that's because the cat had dropped down and snapped the tip of this off. And A, it saw the warning in the engine control unit, and B, it stopped the regeneration because the system had no idea what temperature the DPF and exhaust was up at. So here's a picture of the new AS catalytic converter, or diesel oxidation catalyst. That's the temperature inlet port, and that's the first pressure port, made by AS in Spain. This is the outside. That section there is the cat. Here's a look at the inside. Temperature sensor, pressure port, and that's the cat. Obviously the internal view, and the DPF slides in from underneath. So nothing should have touched my temperature sensor, but the old BM catalyst cat, apparently this bandage, whatever it's called, this let go and the whole lot dropped and caused me no end of trouble. They did honour their 2-year warranty, I'll give them that. But it was no good during lockdown. My car was disabled, had to replace it. So this is an AS cat. That's a section that clamps around the DPF. And here's a look at my brand new DPF. This is actually made by Cats and Pipes in North Wales. And there's a picture. They're proud of their own products, the Cats and Pipes CB. Here's a quick look at the system fitted to the car. It's covered in a heat shield between the engine and the radiator. Not much room, takes a few hours to replace. This is the second pressure pipe. These are stainless steel and run up to the pressure sensor. So between this pipe and that one I showed you underneath the cat, it measures the differential pressure inside the diesel particulate filter. When I established my exhaust gas temperature sensor had broken, looked for it on the exhaust system and saw this mess on the heat shield. The garage that fitted the one-piece system back in 2018 had to cut the heat shield to accommodate this one-piece cat. Now this one-piece cat and DPF is actually made by BM Catalysts. Here's another view taken with a mobile phone. So the exhaust gas temperature sensor should fit into, thin air inside this port, and you can actually see there's something in there. I actually got a posi drive screwdriver, poked it in a hole, and it felt like the cat material, felt like I was poking a hole in that. So I was actually right, the cat had dropped and snapped the sensor and just messed the whole system up of how much I paid. So 160 for the cat, 91 for the DPF plus the VAT, small bit of shipping, £312 just the other month during lockdown. Here's a look at some of the chemistry that goes on. So you've got the engine exhaust at the top. So this diesel oxidation catalyst, as I said, the gas, exhaust gas flows straight through, but the precious metals on the surface of this cat oxidize everything that goes through it. So carbon monoxide becomes carbon dioxide, it's not too bad. Nitric oxide, NO, to nitrogen dioxide, which is actually good for the diesel particulate filter, helps that burn or regenerate at lower temperatures. Other benefits besides, I'm not a chemist, don't pretend to be, this is just some of the diesels found on the internet. Some of the hydrocarbons are converted to carbon dioxide and water vapour, so that's good. But sulfur dioxide, now there's sulfur in diesel fuel and there's sulfur in oil. So if you've got a diesel particulate filter, you're meant to buy a low sulfur oil. Sulfur dioxide, when oxidized with further oxygen atoms, becomes sulfur trioxide, SO3. Well, what's that? Don't know. Well, with water in air, once it's out of the tailpipe, the SO3 with water becomes H2SO4, sulfuric acid. That comes out of the exhaust as sulfate particles, SO3. So you get sulfuric acid out of the exhaust, carbon dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, so NO and NO2, more commonly known as NOx. There's other gases, but I could go on all day. So the diesel particulate filter, this shows the gas comes in, goes through the walls. It can't come straight through, goes through the walls. This captures most of the soot, which is obviously carbon based. So every few hundred miles, the engine injects extra fuel into the exhaust. That combined with the readily available oxygen in the exhaust to 550, 600 degrees C and burns the soot particles to clean most of it, but some of the ash still remains, which is why it eventually becomes blocked and you need to replace it. So now you've seen the pictures of the separate cat and separate DPF. They clip together, Jubilee clip around the two, exhaust gas temperature sensor, first pressure outlet, second pressure outlet. They run to an electronic system that converts the pressure to a code which is then sent to the engine management, so it knows what pressure is across these two pipes, and then works out the condition of your diesel particulate filter and how much ash it contains. In summary, with a new diesel particulate filter, and depending on the rev range, at idle it can be 0 millibar to 4 millibar, 20 millibar running at 30-40 miles per hour. If you start to floor it in third or fourth gear, that can peak to like 35 millibar. If you put your foot hard down, like on a motorway for example, in third gear, 4,500 revs, I could actually reach a peak pressure of approximately 120 millibar with a good DPF. So 120 millibar is still okay with your foot hard on the throttle. When my old system, when this cat had dropped down, snapped my sensor, blocking this DPF, I was getting pressures of over 200 millibar during acceleration, 230 and 300 millibar. That then logs the fault with the engine management and it brings on risk of filter blocking and anti-pollution. So if you're getting a warning during certain throttle conditions, your pressures are going to be up here somewhere. So 200 millibar to 300 is bad. 120 millibar to 200, not sure, somewhere there, it's going to be a change from good to bad. 0 to 120 millibar is okay, depending on your throttle setting. So if you've got DPF trouble, really the only way to measure this is either get a computer with Diagbox or buy one of the handheld analyzers and go in and measure the DPF system. Now I've been using this, as with a couple of years ago, I've been using this iCarSoft, available from a few different people on the internet and on eBay. It gives you average distance between last 5 regenerations. You can see that's with a broken DPF and CAT, 51 kilometers. Distance travelled since last regeneration, 179. That's with a new CAT and DPF. It actually went to 229 or 239 miles over 300 kilometers before it regenerated. This is an old i970 scanner. Have a look, this one's been superseded, but they cost £99. Here's a quick look, that same scanner, different page. So engine speed, so it's idle. Particle emission filter load 32.16%. Catalytic converter downstream temperature 193 degrees, 80.81. That gives you an idea the sensitivity of the temperature sensor, and that's that one I pointed out, mine had snapped. Here's a quick look at my dashboard during some tests. So this was cruising at 69 miles per hour, well that's 70, just over 2000 revs, and I had 23.53 millibar pressure across that DPF. That was a gentle throttle, between 30 and 40, it will come right down on the overrun, 11 millibar. Or if you floor it, it can come up to 30, 40, 50, or really floor it, that can come up to 120. Now I know 120 millibar is safe or good because it doesn't flag any warnings. Once you start getting up to 200 millibar and 300, you start registering turbo underboost, and you start getting warnings on the center display, risk of filter blocking and anti-pollution. This picture with the new DPF, you can see the particle emission filter load, so 56% full of soot, and it still hadn't regenerated. It was actually moments after I took this picture while driving, and you can see it's a new DPF because with the PEF is 0 grams. This counts up, I believe, in 0.28 gram increments. There's another view of the exhaust gas temperature sensor and the butchered heat shield to accommodate that BM catalyst part that failed. And incidentally, if you're going to change your CAT and DPF, one or the other, these turbo oil feed pipes are known to fail when they get old, and you can touch them and they can start leaking oil. The other end of this pipe is behind the exhaust. So this original pipe costs about £15–17 on eBay, probably a lot more from Peugeot, or you can get Flexies. If you're going to take the exhaust off, budget for one of these pipes as well and get that replaced while you're doing the exhaust. Save you a job. So that's it, that's the original BM catalyst exhaust. CAT up this end, yeah, turbo here, CAT, temperature sensor, DPF, and the CAT had dropped down, snapped the sensor and blocked the DPF. Game over. So I'll leave you with this picture again, with the pressures. If you've got DPF trouble, you need to establish what pressure you have, which means it has to go on a computer or get a handheld scanner. 0 to 120 millibar under acceleration. 0 to 120 is fine. When it starts approaching 200 and 300, that's bad. You've got a blockage here somewhere. To the people who say, oh, just get rid of the DPF, I'm not interested in hearing it. If you're happy deleting this DPF and just polluting the environment, I'm not okay with that. I don't agree with it. Since I mentioned driving around Paris, it's important, if you're thinking of driving in the centre of Paris, get onto the website. I'll put a link in the show more. Here we go, here's the website. Certificate, Air, Gov France, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'll put a link in the show more. For £3.99 you get a certificate to stick in your windscreen. This arrived when I got back from Paris. There we are. That certificate's got my registration on it, so I don't want to show it all. You apply for this certificate, put it in your windscreen. That will save you 115 or 117 euro on the spot fine. And this certificate proves your car is clean enough to drive in the centre of Paris, which I recommend. It's a really lovely city, lovely food, lovely people. I hope you found this video educational. If you did, leave a comment or click like, or even subscribe. Thank you very much.